Welcome to the party, we don't play around here. Moon suit, oh no, you get sprayed round. Pew, pew. Yeah, that is XRP Bags Moon Party. Everybody go show him some love. And if you are ever feeling bullish about crypto, want to feel more bullish, go hit up XRP. He's got tons of good crypto songs, good stuff to get into, or XRP Bags. Regardless of how you feel about XRP, XRP Bags is awesome. So, what's up, you degenerates? It's your boy Tokenomics, aka Doge GF Sancho in the house, and today I've got my new favorite, brand new hidden gem for everybody, and it is Multichain Capital, MCC. My goodness, this thing is crazy. We are going into full-blown degenerate gambling crypto shithead town. This is their favorite coin. All the shitheads are going there. So we got to be sure that this is not financial advice. You got to do your own research. There are risks associated with this, despite everybody being very, very excited, and myself included. So make sure you do your own research. Don't be listening to clowns with crazy jackets on the internet. One other quick thing, I am starting an insurance crypto. It's going really, really well. That's like a real world insurance crypto. I'm an insurance broker. I've got connections with about 50 different companies all across the United States. We're going to be working with them. We are going to need people to help us test, and you will get an airdrop. So we're a couple months away from that. There's a link down below if you are interested. So let's get into MCC. But I found this actually on Twitter. The Twitter army, the MCC chads that are out there. My goodness, well done, guys. If any of you guys are watching this, like, hats off to you guys. Tip of the cap. That's how I found this, and thank y'all for shilling this so hard. But I am very, very impressed with the community, their organization, how active they are, how smart they are with their shilling, and that is something that is very, very bullish about any project. I mean, sometimes you just got to join the herd. There was the video from Crypto Frog. He had a little picture with the herd that's going that way, and usually it's like, oh, don't go with the herd, be this guy, and he's just like, nah, screw that. Go with the herd, right? Sometimes, especially with crypto, you got to go with the herd. And I mean, he's totally right. I know one of my friends hit on Doge and Floki and Shiba. He hit all the dog coins, and he hit on a couple, what are the other ones? But his whole strategy is like, yeah, I just literally get on TikTok, and if I see a bunch of comments, I'll buy that coin. I was like, really? That's it? He's like, yeah. And he didn't invest a ton, but he's made upwards of like $300,000 off of probably $5,000 worth of investments. So sometimes you just got to go with the herd. And yeah, if you just look up the hashtag MCC or $MCC, you will see some awesome action. They are all over the place doing really, really good work. So community is amazing for this. I stopped trading ERC 200 days ago because of the gas fees. Today, I found Multichain Capital and spent $210 in gas fees to bridge funds, a proven swap for MCC, because I finally found a project that is worth the gas. Woo! Spicy. I know for all you ETH haters out there, we know how that goes. This is the chart. And so you can see it started 6 days ago, October 19th. And we are on, since then, it's on like I don't even want to think about how high, what the difference is there. It's kind of hard to tell, but I think this is above 1,000x. This was going to be, wait, where's it at? Is that 100x? Yeah, okay, so we've been 100x already in 6 days and up a little bit higher than that. So obviously be careful. Every coin is bound to have corrections, especially a new one. It could be right now, like this could be the thing. And you know, with these videos, when I get excited about something and I make the videos, usually I'll make the video 2 or 3 days after I find it. If you go follow me on Twitter, you can catch all my calls, which not all of them are perfect. Don't take it as financial advice, but a lot of them do hit, and they do grow a couple of days. They grow 1 or 2x within a couple days after I call them. So if you want to check that out, do it. But by the time I make these YouTube videos, a lot of the opportunity has been lost, at least on that pump. So this thing, though, I mean, it really could, because of the way everything works with this. I think it still has room to grow. In fact, I actually just bought some on this recent dip that just happened right here. So I could be totally, whatever. But I mean, I just bought some, so I wouldn't necessarily like say to do it, but look into this, check it out, watch this video, and you'll see why it may still be a good time to buy in. Definitely though, if you don't want to buy in on this pump, put it on your radar, put it on your favorites list, and wait for a dip that works for you, because this thing is a monster. So what has everybody so pumped on Twitter, including myself, and what's got the degens all flocking to this coin? So welcome to Multichain Capital, MCC. Oh, let me show you this here too really quick. Let me show you these freaking gains. Yeah, I wish I put in more. So I did put in more just now. After I calculated this, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I only put in $1,000. Oh man, so it was because of freaking ETH. Gosh, Lee, but whatever. Sometimes you got to bite that bullet, like that person said. So I invested 7 p.m. Central on 11/22, and that was about it was 56 hours ago is when I invested, right about. So it was when I bought 20.8 million tokens for this amount. We'll just say 42. And then it was $890 towards the tokens, $150 in fees. So that was 1040 total, whatever, 1040 total. So we can skip all this, but I kind of calculated it as it went because I was like pumped to see the rewards in action. But after 24 hours, I had earned 4.8 in yield, which means the total amount went up 4.8%. So it went from 20.8 million to 21.8 million. So I gained $1 million in a day. Sinister. And then after 56 hours, when I did all of this calculations and everything, I think the price has gone down a little bit since then, but whatever. It was a 8.7% yield in 56 hours. Absurd. And the token amount was that went from 20.8 million to 22.6 million. Insane. And so that was an extra 1.8 million tokens, which at the price at the time calculating this was an extra $248 earned, which was basically 23% of my earnings back in rewards or passive income in 2.33 days. Absolutely insane. Now it sounds outrageous. It sounds like it cannot be done. It sounds like it cannot be sustainable, but I think it can. I think out of every yield opportunity platform, APR platform, APY platform, this one has the most sustainable growth pattern to earn high yield for a long period of time. Really, really cool. So again, what is it? What is the deal with Multichain Capital? So welcome to Multichain Capital. Despite what the name might imply, MCC is not a venture fund. Instead, it's kind of like a venture fund. Honestly, it's like a DeFi hedge fund, and it's like exactly what we're dealing with here. So instead, it's a community-run ERC20 token native to Ethereum with some very unique tokenomics that you just might find intriguing. Read on, and they are very intriguing, let me tell you. So on buys, 10% of the purchase in MCC is reflected proportionately to all token holders. So I'm used to the word rewards, right? And I was like, what is reflections, right? For some of us who don't have all the terms finalized, a reflection is a mechanism that can be defined as a process in which tokens act as a self-generating mechanism for their holders. This means that a percentage is added to a liquidity pool for every transaction, and another portion is set aside for redistributing among holders. So essentially, 10% of every purchase gets redistributed back into the token holders based on the amount of tokens they have, proportionate to the overall pool. So that's a very good amount. 10% is a good amount in reflections. So that's awesome. So basically, you look at the total volume, we're at $28 million in volume. And so that is we're at $28 million in volume. So that's whatever 10% of that is, that's going to be $2.8 million is getting back rewarded to all of the token holders. And there's only 6,663 holders. Golly, compare that to something like Ohm. which has a volume. Theirs is 36 million, which is pretty good. It's about I guess the same where we're at. And they have 86. That's what it says here, but we can't see who's staking on there, so never mind. That's not a good chart to show you. My bad. But anyways, that's how it goes. So anyways, we got that. Then on sales, 5% of the sale in ETH is deposited to the farming buyback wallet. What's that? We'll show you in a second. 5% of the sale is sent to the marketing wallet. So MCC's most it's trading on Uniswap. Max token supply of 1 trillion. So trillions and trillions. Okay, farming and compound buybacks. The farming and buyback system is the most critical component of MCC, 100%. 10% of all sales go to the marketing wallet, but the funds in this wallet don't just sit there. The funds are bridged to other EVM-compatible blockchains like Avalanche, Phantom, and Polygon. Buybacks typically happen once a day to prevent front running. They are not announced ahead of time. Previous buybacks can be viewed on the buyback ledger. We'll show that in a second. So essentially, what they're doing is they're taking the money that they're earning from the transaction volume, and they're putting that into some of these other degen yield farms that I've talked about in the past on DeFi 2.0, and they're doing really cool stuff, which I'll show you in a second. I mean, the guys who are doing this are yield farming experts. So essentially, they're taking this pool of money and then they're yield farming on behalf of the entire community, and then they're taking the money that they earn and they're buying back the tokens, which increases the price. It increases the price floor and really just maintains price stability. So that's why like a big dump, or like if I see even just a little bit, it's like, oh, well, it's kind of going to get offset by like crazy buybacks all the time. And they have enough money in their treasury now to do very like incredibly high amounts. They're already doing upwards of 400,000 or 500,000 a day just after 6 days. So, I mean, these guys could be doing hundreds of millions of dollars in buybacks just on their own, with their own ecosystem, every single year. So one of the risks is, though, that we do have to trust these people that are doing this, right? So if they just decide to stop, they get bored one day, or want a rug, whatever it is, which I don't know these people, that could very well happen. However, the reason I didn't invest initially, I took about 24 hours to invest, was because I wanted to check it out. I just felt out the community, and I wish I got in earlier. I could have gotten even double what I have right now, but that's because I wanted to be safe and check it out. I listened to an AMA on Twitter, and they seem very, very competent. Seems like they know what they're doing. They're very, very smart, and they've been really transparent, and they have delivered thus far. 6 days, right? I'm investing in it. It's not an incredible amount. I've only invested maybe 2,500 now at this point. So I'll live if it goes away. But it's everything else that's going on. I think that it's worth it to do that. So the other thing too that's kind of lost in all of this is there's also a marketing wallet, right? So they've got this farming wallet that they're using to support the price, and also when they do a buyback, there's also 10% of that gets rewarded back out to the community again. So it's just like this really crazy cycle that's awesome, and they're offering what is essentially farming as a service. So now this way, let's see. So right here it says that the two major accomplishments are: first of all, you no longer need to always keep up with the latest and greatest farm across all these different blockchains. You can just buy back the tokens, relax, hold, and reap the earnings via buybacks from farming rewards. So, like that's huge. I mean, I don't have the time to go around and check which one's the best all day, learn the newest, hottest strategies. And usually when I hear about stuff, I mean, it's not the same day, right? Like there are some degen yield farmers out there who will like wake up and drink coffee till 5 a.m. to make sure they are the first ones staking on certain chains and different tokens that open up to get the absolute best yield. So essentially that's what they're doing for us. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like you guys can do that. So I still have a couple of tokens and some other yield farming things just to diversify, but I have moved most of my yield farming tokens to this project over time. So when the price falls after a sale, 10% of the sale will be invested in aggressive yield farms that will be used for future and potential compound buybacks. So yeah, if you think about this, when the sale go down, when the price goes up, that's like extra compound for everybody because we're getting all of that in reflections. When the price goes down, that's just giving them more marketing money, and then that's giving them more money to put in their farm to then buy back everything. So it's really good. Like the math on this just works out awesome. So you can go to this and you can look at their liquidity. It's been locked for a year. Smart contract source been verified, and the contract ownership has been renounced. So very awesome. Mad lads, mad chads up in this group for sure. So go check that out. You can go look at some of their statistics right here. So this is their farming portfolio right here, which we'll get into some of those here in a second. And then they've got their marketing wallet, which that's massive for a token that is only 6 days old. So yeah, guys, like none of that has even started yet. When the marketing starts, forget about it. Like, and this is kind of an obscure thing too. So like, I mean, there's been very few YouTube videos. Like once the YouTube and the visual content and the different mediums of learning come out for this, because everything up to this point has just been like, you had to go learn Telegram or, they just made this thing that I showed you right here. They just made this. Like this wasn't even out a couple of days ago. That's how early this project freaking is. So even though it's on like one of those crazy pumps, which it's going down right now, this is a pretty good little dip for something like this, in my opinion, because hella people want it. And the other thing too is when it goes down, I mean, you're still earning like rewards on a lot of it. I mean, yes, people are getting out, but as people get in, your portion of the pool is getting bigger, essentially. So you're still earning rewards and really good rewards. And when the price goes down, the amount that you earn is going to go up. So it's the whole system is just genius. I am just genius chads. These guys are full chads. So the farming wallet, you can see, so they're very transparent about what they're doing. They even hold votes like, hey guys, where do you think that we should be farming right now? And then the votes will do it. So they've got different farms that they have done. Phantom, they got most of their stuff on Spartacus right now, which is the move, solid move. You can see that they've made $3,000 in profit. Not sure what happened with Avalanche here. Down 57% in profit. That is another risk, right? Another risk with something like this is if they potentially make a bad yield farming move, treasury drops, they might lose their purchasing power to buy back tokens. I think they're not investing everything in their treasury though into other projects from what I understand. Oh yeah, they still have their marketing wallet, but that is a risk, right? So we are kind of trusting these people to get it done, to deliver on their promises, but then also make the right decisions. So keep that in mind as well. So here are the buybacks that they've already done. I think this USD amount on here is incorrect, but this amount is correct. So if you add up all the ETH that they've sold, it is about $1 million in 6 days. And so, yeah, that they've bought back. So they've bought back about $1 million in 6 days worth of tokens. And they have the ability to buy back even more, which is really, really cool. So you got all that. You can see here, 6718 holders. They got staking coming here soon. That's going to be sinister. So this is what some of the other stuff that they're doing. And I know some of my DGen friends love to borrow and then stake. So they'll do something where they can stake their stable, stake like a coin that they don't think is going to dip very much, like Ethereum. Then they'll borrow some DAI or something on that, and then they'll use that to go and they'll use that plus their Ethereum that they have to go out and get even more yield opportunities, because the yield that they're going to earn is going to far outpace the interest or the rate that they have to pay on their loans. So they're like, yeah, let's go do it. So they're just it's really, there's all sorts of crazy degen strategies. You can go look at the degen yield farming strategies. I've known about them for a while, but I don't really do them that much because they're so risky. You have to know what you're doing. And I'm not a huge fan of liquidity pools, but if you know how to do them, you find the right pools, you can be good. So this guy right here, Punk6596, this guy is like an OG in the community. This is the best Twitter thread that I found. So Multichain Capital is a new farming as a service project that launched a few days ago. Here's a thread on how I think about the project from a fundamental perspective. I've long thought there was a space for a farming as a service project, as high yields in crypto inevitably don't last long. Oh no. Inevitably don't last long. In this context, the best strategy is to farm high yields while they exist early on and constantly move around to the optimal projects as they pop up. So, that's essentially that's what they're going to do. They're going to do that for you. This can be so he says the best strategy for people is to do that is in order to yield farm correctly, you kind of have to do that. So this can be extremely time consuming. However, for most investors, this is more work than they can keep up with. This is where MCC comes into play. The tokenomics are quite elegant and well thought out. So we've kind of been into that. 10% of all sales get split between marketing and farming. Marketing funds go towards standard marketing fees of any project, but the farming funds go to a treasury that takes those funds and optimally farms them on your behalf. The profits on all the farming strategies are then used to buy back MCC tokens and return the funds to holders. The other thing too, this is what's crazy. Putting your money into a pool of all these people doing it together is increasing the amount of yield that is earned, like overall. And joining a group like this, you earn so much more yield than if you were to just like do it on your own, just because of the compounding interest. And so, I mean, when you start with a bigger number, it compounds faster and the curve is more exponential. So that's why this is beneficial. Furthermore, the dev is an extremely experienced yield farmer that will constantly be intelligently farming on your behalf. All of this is fully transparent. You can track the project's position live on an online platform to be released later today. That's what I just showed you. To make things even better, 10% of all buys goes directly to reflections and also accrue more value to holders. So in short, you pay 10% on slippage in any transaction, with half of this value split between farming and marketing, the other half going towards holder reflections. These tokenomics create strong incentives for holders to hold their position for the long haul. You get massive reflection. I've already earned 20% reflections in 2 days. I had about 8%, but the rewards with the token price increasing was 20%, which is sinister. Criminal. So you guys benefit from consistent daily buybacks, and you don't have to lose the 10% slippage on the way out. In this context, while there will be inevitably a period of consolidation. Oh, wait, is that? Okay, yeah. So in this context, while there will inevitably be a period of consolidation as large early holders take gains and ownership becomes more diluted, eventually once this process is played out, there will likely be extremely favorable supply-demand dynamics. This should lead to non-linear price appreciation, not financial advice. Now, to get in a few numbers, the Treasury already has $2 million in value being devoted to yield farming and generates $30,000 a day for buybacks. So this was on November 22nd, which was 3 days ago when I bought it, actually. And now we are up, and the Treasury is almost $8 million. And then their buybacks are upwards of $300,000-$400,000 a day. So sinister, guys. Yeah, this is not. Yeah, we're gonna crush it. So I clicked the button again. If you project this out, it yields $10 million of buybacks annually for a token that is currently valued at $40 million and only 4 days old. Furthermore, this implies the token is trading at 4x on earning yield profit alone. So that's crazy. And with it now, with the gains that have been made recently, I mean, $40 million annually is nowhere near what these guys have the potential. I think hundreds of millions of dollars a year is the buyback potential with this. So While this is extremely cheap, it doesn't account for the added earning stream that comes from reflections. If you run all the math, the token currently trades at sub 1x earnings, which obviously seems severely undervalued. I think of a valuation of 10x earnings is more reasonable and represent 10x upside from here. I think there is much greater potential long term, but this seems like a fair short term target. So since he did that, it was probably it's gone up 3x already. So he could be right, he could be wrong. Again, you make that decision for yourself if you want to invest now or wait for things to stabilize a little bit. Look, we went down and then we went back up. We're already going back up again. So I mean, yeah. People want to buy this, and like institutions are going to want to get in on this. I mean, I have a business and I'm like, okay, I need to start putting, I need to start putting some of my business earnings into different yield farming, not a ton, but different yield farming opportunities just to increase the passive income. So I know that other institutions are going to be thinking that way as well. So the fundamentals will dictate that those levels, let's see, what's it say? Okay, the fundamental framework also provides strong comfort to buy and hold for the long term. For example, if the token declines 50% and goes to $20 million market cap, there will be no reason to panic sell. So I agree with that, and I don't. The regulatory risks that could be out there, especially if you live in the United States, then, or who, like, I mean, just the gains and the way that this is working, the way the governments think is they're the only ones that can make this type of yield. So, just you got to be aware of that. I don't want to FUD again. So I'm not throwing the whole farm at something like this. But I don't think you really need to make like tons of money on something like this. You could put in a small amount, and over time it could grow. But again, you've got to be aware of regulatory risks. So the fundamentals will dictate that those levels, the project will be able to buy back over 50% of the current market cap annually, which should provide massive comfort to holders, which is absurd. I've never heard of anything like that. So again, we trust the devs to do that. You got to make that decision for yourself. But there are a lot of people who are really liking what they're seeing and hearing from the devs so far. Furthermore, as volume adds to the treasury, there is a strong self-reinforcing cycle where volume leads to higher treasury holding, which leads to greater yield, which leads to larger buybacks, which leads to higher prices, and finally more volume. It's like, what the heck? Just like, it's literally one of the most genius like financial systems. It is the most genius. We're just going to say it. MCC, the based dev, the guy who made it, his name based dev, most genius financial guru of all time. Warren Buffett ain't got nothing on this guy. So, and so on and so on. This should fuel strong long-term growth, which should continue to increase the fundamental floor value of the project. Lastly, the devs just held a Twitter Spaces earlier today and seem very capable and trustworthy with plans to dox, at least through a third party in the near future. With that said, I have no official involvement with the project and recommend any interested party do your own research. DYOR. TLDR, if you believe yield farming opportunities will exist in long term but don't want to consistently play whack-a-mole to keep up with them all, simply put MCC and let the virtuous cycle compound for you. So that's it. You literally just hold MCC. You don't need to stake it. You don't need to do any of this crazy stuff. Any normie that can at least do a Uniswap trade can do this and earn. So yeah, this is amazing. Amazing. You know who's gonna love this is exchanges. Oh my gosh, exchanges are going to absolutely love this because they're gonna be holding everybody's tokens and they're gonna be earning all of the yield. Like, oh my god. Oh gosh, like the amount of sinister everything that's going on. Oh, gosh, I can't believe it, guys. This is awesome. So MCC price up another 100%. And position increased another 10%. Good for a 120% ROI since last night. If MCC executes their farming strategy, gains are sustainable, especially with volume accelerating. Where was it at? He had another tweet earlier where he was basically like, yeah, like 4-figure buybacks are in the cards every single day now, so deal with it, guys. So yeah, this is them on Twitter. Go give them some love. They need more followers, faux show. And as far as like a price prediction, man, As long as the market keeps going, I mean, the only thing, I mean, like I said, the things that we got to make sure, the things we got to watch out for or be wary of are dev rug pulls, dev burnout, dev making the wrong decisions, regulatory risks, and also just the market in general, right? That's generally what it is. And so, but if all of that stuff doesn't happen, perfect world, this thing could easily surpass Ohm. And to kind of think a short-term price projection, it's hard to think about what this could do. Like, it's hard to look at something like this that's this early and compare it to something else, because this is so revolutionary and so new. The only thing I can think of that would compare would be Ohm, because Ohm was also very revolutionary, very new, and had also criminal yield, really good yield opportunities when it started. And that one had a pump for about 7 days, and then it corrected about 80%, and then it went back up to that top within 10 days. So we could see something here where it overcorrects, and if it does, I don't think it's going to overcorrect though that much. I mean, I think it'll dip to its fair value, and then people are just going to eat it up, at least for a little while. Again, I don't know, not financial advice. People probably said that about Ohm as well, but Ohm also, when it got started, had big time scam vibes. Nobody nobody really knew. And this one, it kind of does if you're thinking about the dev, kind of him being in control of everything. But as far as if he is legit, then all of this is much more sustainable and much better than something like what Ohm offers, because Ohm is its own platform. They can only do what's in here. These guys can go to Ohm if they want and get those gains. They can go to Time. They can go to Spartacus. They can go do whatever. They can go pick a new token that has really good gains the first couple of days. So they're flexible, and they aren't subject to, as long as they keep consistency, it's just going to, it's a little bit different than Ohm because they're flexible and it's more of a service rather than a protocol. So again, Ohm being the protocol, that is good, probably a little bit safer than somebody who's taking care of it for you. But the fact that these guys can be flexible, they can kind of do everything for you. The yield is better. Ohm is number 55. Let's just check out the Ohm market cap on CoinGecko. And Ohm's been around for 6 months. Probably, yeah, no, they've been around for 6 months. So, come on, buddy. For you new people, my internet always goes super slow. That's why I have to preload everything. It's when I turn on this streaming thing, it takes forever. Oh, there it is. Of course, when I go down. All right, number 54 ranked token. Woo. I'm getting hard thinking about it. So, market cap, 4.1 billion. $4.1 billion. Okay, this 133 million. So, if you do the math, so let's just go 4 billion. That's million, billion. Okay, divided by 133. I think that's right. Oof! A 30x, get out. A 30x from these prices. Now that might take a little while. However, throughout that whole time, you're going to be earning yield, really sinister yield. So I'm cool with it to take a little bit of time. I mean, it's healthy, right? I'm cool with this thing, whatever. I mean, nothing is a perma hold for me, but I'm going to be holding this for a very, very long time. The goal with something like this is to have so much in there to where you can essentially just pull out your passive and use it as passive income. Doesn't even really need to do anything. But obviously, though, you just got to be keeping up with the market and the charts and everything. So yeah, guys, check this sucker out. Get in there. Go get in the Telegram. Join the based Twitter army that they have. And yes, Multichain Capital, everybody. To the moon. Y'all have an amazing day. Remember to be kind. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe.